Impactful start. What do an apple orchard, a nonconformist genius, and a vision that transformed the world have in common? The answer is Apple. But what is the true story behind this iconic brand? Prepare for a journey full of innovation, drama, and, of course, some poisoned apples. Origin of the brand. The story begins in 1976, in a garage in Los Altos, California. Two young men, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, shared a passion: electronics. Wozniak, a brilliant engineer, had built a personal computer, the Apple I. Jobs, with his business acumen, saw the potential to market it. Together with Ronald Wayne, they formed Apple Computer Company. Wayne, unconvinced, sold his stake for $800 just 2 weeks later. A mistake that would haunt him for the rest of his life. Why Apple? Legend has it that Jobs, after a visit to an apple farm, simply proposed the name and everyone liked it. Simple, memorable, and with a touch of rebellion. Early years. The early years were a whirlwind. The Apple II, launched in 1977, was a resounding success. It was easy to use, had color graphics, and sold like hotcakes. Apple became one of the fastest-growing companies in the United States. But not everything was rosy. Jobs and Wozniak had very different personalities. Jobs was an obsessive perfectionist, a relentless visionary. Wozniak, a creative genius, preferred to stay in the lab. The arrival of the IBM PC in 1981 posed a major challenge. IBM, with its power and corporate backing, threatened Apple's dominance. The war had begun. Growth and expansion. In 1984, Apple launched the Macintosh. It was a revolution. Its graphical interface, its mouse, its ease of use. Everything was innovative. The famous Super Bowl commercial that year, directed by Ridley Scott, marked a before and after in the history of advertising. Despite initial success, the Macintosh failed to dethrone the IBM PC. Jobs, with his controversial style, clashed with the company's management. In 1985, he was fired from Apple, the company he had founded. These were dark years for Apple. Without Jobs, the company lost its way. The products were good, but they lacked the magic and vision that had characterized them. Myth or legend of the brand. This is where one of Apple's most persistent myths comes into play: the bitten apple logo. Why a bitten apple? There are several theories. One of the most popular is that the bite is a tribute to Alan Turing, the father of modern computing, who committed suicide by eating an apple poisoned with cyanide. Turing was crucial in deciphering Nazi codes during World War II, but he was persecuted for his homosexuality. Another theory suggests that the bite is simply to prevent people from confusing the apple with a tomato. Rob Janoff, the logo's designer, has denied both theories. According to him, the bite has no hidden meaning. He simply thought it was a good idea to give the apple scale. But who knows the truth? The mystery of the Apple logo continues to fuel the legend. Current situation. In 1997, Steve Jobs returned to Apple. The company was on the verge of bankruptcy. Jobs took over as interim CEO and began a radical restructuring. He simplified the product line, focused on design and innovation, and recovered the lost magic. The launch of the iMac in 1998 was a resounding success. Apple was back on the map. Then came the iPod, the iPhone, the iPad. Each product was a revolution. Apple became the most valuable company in the world. Steve Jobs, an icon. After his death in 2011, Tim Cook took the reins of Apple. Under his leadership, the company has continued to grow and expand, maintaining its position as a leader in innovation and design. Reflective closure. Apple is much more than a technology company. It is a symbol of innovation, design, and rebellion. A brand that has transformed the way we live, work, and communicate. A story of successes, failures, geniuses, and bitten apples. Because sometimes, behind a simple logo, there is a whole story that few know. Did you enjoy this journey through Apple's history? If you want to discover more myths and legends of your favorite brands, subscribe to our channel and leave us your comments. What other brand would you like us to analyze?